I want to take you through a few more options with shapes. I have open here a file that has a few characters, and then it has the pieces that they're made from. So you got this little big-eyed character, and these are the pieces that were put together here to make this character. The only piece that might be a little confusing is this one. I'm going to show you really quickly how to make that piece. We're going to take the ellipse and just draw that, drag it out, and I'm going to convert one point of it. On our control panel, we have convert, and now we have a sharp point instead of a rounded one. Next, I'm just going to take this side and just kind of push it in, and now I have basically the shape that I want for all these pieces of hair. Down here we have an eye, and it's what you see commonly on some of the characters that have their really big eyes. And I want to show you just a couple of pieces on this. One, the eyebrow, and the other is the portion that borders the eye. So the eyebrow, again, is starting with an oval, and we're going to take one point of it again and change it sharp. And if I just push that side in a little further, then I have the eyebrow. And if I wanted to rotate it, I could just get my selection tool, my black arrow, get over close to it and start hovering over the corner. It's got the curved arrow, and it would let me turn that. If I hold my shift key down, it'll make it perfectly straight. I'm going to undo that. This piece is a little tricky. Let me zoom into it so we can see it better. Now this one is a little bit unique. It's got the squared off end, so we're going to go about it just a little bit different. Starting the same, using an oval, and we're going to convert both end points. I'm going to select those using my shift key to hold them both down. And then pulling this down pretty close. Push that up. And you can see now I have live points at both ends. I'm going to pull this in and change my corners to straight. And there you have it. All right, I'm going to zoom back out. So that's how you would make the pieces that are needed here. And they're just stacked together, one on top of the other. You can see how they interact with each other. You've got your eyelashes, which are like these. You've got this piece across the bottom, the same piece across the top. One other thing that I would like to mention right now is the stacking order. And in this example of the eye, we have several layers, and if these are not in the right order, then one of the layers may be blocked. I'm going to show you the layers, and we have these in 4 different groupings. And here's the eye, and if I open this up, you have all the different layers for the eye. Now if we take, say, this blue layer, let's open that back up, I can see that it's here. There's the indicator, and if I drag that a few layers forward, then it's going to cover up the highlights and the pupil. If I drag it too far backwards, it's going to be behind the back layer. So it needs to be precisely between these two to make sense. So the stacking order always makes a difference, and you can see that in your layers here. Once again, whatever selected is indicated by a little square beside that layer. Always pay attention to your stacking order. Now I have another couple of examples and select this so you can kind of see the pieces. The hair is made from this. Now this might be a tricky piece for sure, so let's look at how we might get to that. I'm going to just do it over here to the side. So now what I want to do is I want to just use this part of the handle. So I'm going to hold down my Alt key and it's going to let me pull just that one handle. Push that one back in just a little bit. And there I have the piece like the hair. Now the face is interesting in that it actually does start with an oval and can drag out these top handles, and then on the bottom you can actually push those in a little tighter. So that's another way to manipulate the shapes and get what you want. One more with this character, and that's the mouth, and that is the famous oval. Change the corners and just pull that down a little bit. Now to get this little bit of a lift on the mouth, you can hold down your Alt key and just pull these individually. The bunny is very straightforward. I don't think there's anything there. This was just done, this little mouth effect was just done with pencil. Just like that. But otherwise, it's just stacked shapes. So I hope this lets you think of other ways that you can use the shapes, other things that you can do with it, and maybe even as you start looking at things, you'll think the construction of them and what shapes would make them.